Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Vinera Fennes. We're going to talk about her base form, her abrasive form, sample rotation, and final thoughts at the end, whether or not I recommend pulling for her. So let's go. So Vinera is a debuffer who can do a bit of physical damage in base form. She turns into a dark physical damage LB finisher in her Brave Shift form, who can also provide Mirage to both herself and the party. She can also buff her own human killer just on her own, not for the party. Her Trust Master reward is called the Bewitching Heal, similar name to her TMR in War of the Visions, FFBE. It's an accessory that provides 182 HP, 40 attack, and 7 defense. Additional effect is called the False Veil of Darkness. It increases physical evasion by 25% and increases damage against humans, 25% for physical damage. So there are a lot of TMRs increase attack and provide physical evasion, such as the Protect Grappler, G3 from Rico, Ring of the Lucii from Noctis, and Colorful Lay from Aloha Laswell. However, none of them have physical human killer attached to them. Only 2 accessories have physical human killer, namely the Far Plane Defender from an event and Grand Star from the 10-man trial. Both of them also increases attack, but the presence of physical human killer along with physical evasion makes this a unique TMR, although the physical damage against human 25% is a bit low. So really good TMR if you're looking for physical evasion, flat attack, and physical human killer. Her Super Trust Master reward is called the Fallen Moon. It increases attack by 70%, increases physical evasion by 30%, and also increases LB damage by 50%. It is unstackable, so you can only use one copy of this materia on one unit. There are no evade materia that provides a boost in LB damage in the game, which makes this quite unique. This is obviously great on a physical LB damage dealer, so any LB damage dealer can benefit from this if they are physical. The closest comparison to this materia would be Guardian of Light Sora from KH3 Sora, which has 80% attack and 75 LB damage. So this is sacrificing some attack and some LB damage for physical evasion. This would be great, a great get if you missed out on Sora's KH3's STMR. So there is also a TMR that can compare that provides attack and LB damage, albeit at a smaller amount, which is Courage to Move On at 60% attack and 30% LB damage. That's from AC Cloud. So overall, I think this is a really good Super Trust Master reward, especially if you missed out on Sora. Also, this is great on Vinera herself, since she is a LB damage finisher in her Brave Shift form. This can also proc her Trust passive, and you can also build her for physical evasion, so she will be a an evade physical damage dealer. Her vision card is called by Lord Dario's side. So Dario is a unit in War of the Visions, FFBE. The stats are at level 1, base attack is 50, and a level 10 base attack is 110. Level 4 ability is called Bewitching Blade 1, increases attack 50% when equipped with a dagger, similar to her level 7 ability. Bewitching Blade 2 also does the same thing. And a level 10 Alluring Assassin, a requirement is FFBE or War of the Vision FFB unit only. So it increases physical damage against humans 50%. So this vision card marks the return of the 110 flat attack vision card. So the last time we saw a 110 attack vision card was back when KH3 banner was released. So Riku KH3 vision card is called Facing the Demon Tower. Has been a staple in my team since then. Vinera's vision card is obviously great on herself since she prefers daggers. You can easily proc the attack bonus, and the physical human killer since she's a War Division's FFB unit. Also, there are a lot of FFB units that can utilize this vision card, like Laswell and Reagan. Tonberry's Knife, a dagger that has a lot of flat attack, 192, pairs well with this vision card. So this is the first vision card with attack bonus when equipped with daggers. No other vision card in the game for now, I think. And this is also the first vision card that provides physical damage against humans. This video is sponsored by Amazon Coins. Get 10,000 Amazon Coins for $80 instead of $100. That's a savings of 20%. You can use the Amazon Coins to buy Lapis for FFBE. I place a link in the description below. Check it out after you watch the video. If you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Azure. I upload FFBE and gaming content every day on this channel. If that's something you're interested in, then consider subscribing. You can also leave a like rating on the video as well and check me out at various social media. Links in the description. We're going to talk about her base form strengths. So she can equip daggers, swords, katanas, throwing weapons, guns, and fists. And then she can equip hats, clothes, light armor, and robes and accessories in her base form. Vinera specializes in debuffing the enemy in her base form. She has an on-demand 80% all-stat debuff, as well as 85% debuffs on a cooldown. Her Magnus ability can debuff the enemy's attack and defense stat by 90%. It's currently the highest attack and defense debuff in the game, including FFBE JP. So Poison Sting, Warrior Division's FFBE level 5, does physical damage 30 to one enemy, also decreases all stats by 80% for 4 turns to one enemy. Also does damage over time 40 for 4 turns, and it can't be dispelled. Stardust Ray Chaining. Armor Cleaver is on a 4-turn cooldown. It's available on turn 1, but single cast when dual wielding. This decreases all stats by 85 for 3 turns to all enemies. And then physical damage 60 per turn for 4 turns to all enemies, also can't be dispelled. Increases LB gauge 30 to caster. So first attack debuffs one enemy, and second attack debuffs all enemies. But it can't be maintained for all the turns since it lasts for 3 turns, but the cooldown is 4 turns. Alright, so next, the last break ability, a debuff ability, is called the Marauder's Blade. 4 uses per battle, so this is a Magnus ability. Removes all buffs from one enemy, so that's a perfect dispel for, you can use 4 times per battle. Removes all the buffs from one enemy. Decrease attack and defense 90% for 2 turns to one enemy. And then decrease attack all stats 85% for 4 turns to one enemy. So when your attack and defense 90% runs out, 85 is still left behind. Physical damage 120 per turn for 4 turns to one enemy, can't be dispelled. Her LB does average damage and applies damage over time. It also increases the modifiers for her ability. So if you're stuck with just using her base form, you can still do damage. Make sure to up the modifiers with Dark Art Hidden in Haze. It has 3 hits and costs 45 LB. So physical damage 80 to one enemy, and also has damage over time 50 per turn for 3 turns to one enemy. Also increases modifiers to the following skills. She has 100% active LB buff in her base form and 150% passive LB damage. So Heavenly Blade increases her attack by 300% for 5 turns to caster. This is on a 5-turn cooldown, available on turn 1. And also increases damage, LB damage 100% for 2 turns to caster, can't be dispelled. Also fills her LB gauge all the way to max, so 45 to caster. And also does damage over time 20 with ignore death to one enemy. Sorry, that's not damage over time. That's just piercing attack 20 and Stardust Ray. And then her passives that grant LB damage are called Princess of Fennes, Increase attack 50 when equipped with a dagger, increase LB damage 50, increase physical evasion 20, and recover MP 10 per turn. But this requires either her TMR or STMR equipped. And then Serpent's Den Shinobi increases her LB damage by 100, also increases attack by 80, and defense spirit HP by 30, increases resistance to poison, blind, paralyze, and confuse, and physical damage against humans 150%, and increases equipment attack 100 when dual wielding. This is unconditional. She can imbue herself with dark and imperil the enemy to dark. She can also apply a 150% human killer buff to herself while dealing physical damage and filling her LB gauge. So if you can remember, she already has 150% human killer passive. So this human killer buff will add to that. So Umbral Dagger does dark physical damage 20 to one enemy. But it also does decrease dark resistance 120 for 5 turns to one enemy. Adds dark element to her physical attacks for 5 turns. Also increases LB gauge for herself by 10. So Stardust Ray also. Condemning Blade level 5 inflicts death 25% of the time or deal physical damage 60 to one enemy. It also deals damage over time, 30 per turn for 4 turns to one enemy. Increases physical damage against human 150% for 5 turns to caster. Increase LB gauge 15 to caster. Alright, so you can also fill her LB gauge using by triple casting this. So 15 times 3, 45. Also Stardust Ray Chaining. So we're gonna move on to her utility skills. She can do increased damage to the break gauge of an enemy, weak to short swords or daggers. She also has a skills that has 100% accuracy and steals an item from the enemy. All her skills can be triple casted. So her triple cast is called the Triple Assassin's Blade. We can triple cast everything there on the list. Snipe Dagger does physical damage with increased break damage 500 for a dagger to one enemy. Also inflicts confuse 100% to one enemy. And Pillaging Blade is her 100% accuracy attack that does 40. It has 40 mod and steals an item 50% from one enemy. Alright, so Snipe Dagger is going to be useful since she is already dual wielding. If you dual wield 2 daggers, you will maximize the effect of this ability. Moving on to her passives, Vinera already has 150 true dual wield, so 50% more will cap her. Innate dual wielding and the 200% increased chain modifier cap. She also has 260 attack when equipped with daggers, which makes it easy to cap her on those stats. She has 150 physical human killer, we're going to talk about that, and 45% innate physical evasion, which can make her easy to build as an evade debuffer or physical damage dealer. Easy, even her TMR and STMR have physical evasion attached to them. She can counter physical and magic attacks 80% of the time with 100% paralyzed to one enemy. She also fills her own LB gauge by 5 every time she counters with a max of 2 counters per turn or 10 LB per turn. Lastly, she has 100% success rate when stealing an item from the enemy, and she also steals gil when stealing items. So her attack, Pillaging Blade has 100% chance according to her passive here. Alright, so just going down the list, she also has a decreased chance of being targeted, 50%. And she is immune to charm, disease, poison, blind, paralyzed, confuse. And LB gauge fill rate of 50%. She also increases LB gauge at 5 per turn. And then recover MP 10 per turn. So really good. Pretty easy to fill her LB gauge. Lots of her attack have LB fill. So you can use her LB in base form or in shift form. Shift form LB is more powerful than her base form LB. Moving on to her Brave Shift form, it's available from turn 1, duration is infinite. Cooldown to normal is 1 turn, and cooldown to Brave Shift is 2 turns. She can equip the same equipment as her base form. Vinera turns into a powerful Dark Element LB physical damage dealer in Brave Shift form. She can buff her own LB damage by 300%. That's the highest among all the units in FFBE for now. Also applies 150% physical and mag human killer to herself. So Man Eater Dagger, you can use this two uses per battle, 1 turn cooldown, available on turn 1. Increase physical damage against human, 150% for 4 turns to caster. Also increases magic damage. Increase LB damage 300% for 2 turns to caster. This can't be dispelled. And does physical damage 45 with ignore defense 50% to one enemy. Also Stardust Ray. Her LB is a one-hit finisher ability that increases her attack and boosts her dark damage, before doing any damage. So she still has 150% LB passive that she shares with her base form. So her LB is called Dark Art Shadow Sting. 1 hit, 45 LB. Increases attack 300% for 5 turns to caster. Can't be dispelled, so there's no need to buff your attack. Since this LB already buffs your attack. Increase dark physical damage 50% for 5 turns to caster. Also can't be dispelled. Boost physical and magic damage. And then dark physical damage 85 to one enemy. So kind of low in the modifiers, but understandable. She has 300% attack, 300% LB damage that's active buff. She also has 150 LB damage passive, so they had to balance her some way. Hence the 85 mod. She also has dark physical damage amplification of 50%, so that's times 1.5. She still has Princess of Fennes and Serpent's Den Shinobi passives. All her attack abilities in Brave form have Stardust Ray training frames, similar to her base form. One of her attacks provide her with 6 stacks of Mirage for herself, and another attack applies a 4-stack Mirage to the party for 4 turns, while increasing their dark, physical, and magic damage by 25. So pretty good with dark element teams. Then she can up the party's dark damage, whether it's physical or magic damage, by 25%. So Shadowcast level 5 does physical damage 25 to one enemy, also evades 6 physical attacks for herself for 3 turns, and increases LB gauge 20 to caster. Stardust Ray, and then Shadow Serpent is on a 4-turn cooldown, available on turn 1, increase dark, physical, and magic damage 25 for 3 turns to all allies, and evade 4 physical attacks for 4 turns to all allies. It does physical damage 17.5 with ignore def 50% to one enemy, also Stardust Ray. All of her skills can be triple casted, right? And she retains the use of Poison Sting, Snipe Dagger, Pelagian Blade, Umbral Dagger, and Heavenly Blade in her Brave Shift form. So all these abilities are shared within both forms. Passives. So all her passives also are the same, except for a few exceptions. She now counters physical and mag attacks by decreasing the enemy's physical accuracy by 50%, while also increasing her own LB gauge by 5. The counter has a max of 2 per turn, similar to her counter in base form. I think the only unit that can decrease physical accuracy is Assassin Shadow Neo Vision. He can only do it by 25%. So this could be really useful, her counter, for reducing physical accuracy by 50%. Not sure which which boss is susceptible to this debuff, but could be useful down the road. Her charm and disease immunity, which she had in base form, are replaced by stop and petrify immunity. Not sure which pair is better. Stop and charm should be the best immunities there. So this is a sample rotation for LB finishing in her Brave Shift form, while also applying a 90% defense break 90% attack and defense break, and dispelling the buffs from the enemy. So turn 1, we start in base form. We imbue ourselves in Imperial Dark using Umbral Dagger, Heavenly Blade, and then Heavenly Blade to fill our LB gauge, and then Marauder's Blade to break the debuffs the enemy by 90 attack and 90 defense. And then turn 2, we Brave Shift, we Shadow Cast just for the self Mirage, Shadow Serpent for Party Mirage, and then Man Eater Dagger for the 300% LB damage buff. So turn 3, Dark Arch Shadow Sting, her LB if she has 150% passive, which is her base LB damage passive, and 300 LB damage buff, and 50% Dark Amplification skill, which is already part of her LB. She will do 702 mod for her LB. So kind of low if you could compare her to other LB damage dealers. Like Rain and Fina and Last Will and Reagan. You can still up the modifier by equipping more LB passive equipment. So if you max that out, that will be 600% LB damage boost. So what are my final thoughts for Vinera? By the way, I didn't post any sample builds. She's not in the builder yet. So I don't have her yet, so I can't build her. So maybe I'll just make a separate video on how to build her. So once she is in the builder. So final thoughts, Vinera brings a lot of unique things to FFBE. Number 1, her 90% attack and defense debuff is currently the highest in the game, even in FFBE JP. Number 2, her TMR that provides physical evasion and physical human killer. That's still unique. Number 3, her STMR increases attack, LB damage, and physical evasion, so quite unique as well. And 4, her vision card gives attack bonus when equipped with daggers. No other vision card does that. Physical human killer also, no vision card has physical human killer, and it has 110 attack. So if you missed Riku H3, if you missed his vision card, which provides 110 attack when equipped with, and also damage bonus when equipped with, attack bonus when equipped with swords, this could be a very good vision card for your physical damage healers. She is fairly easy to build with no significant weaknesses in both her forms. Her Brave Shift LB mod is pretty low, but it's understandable since she would be too overpowered if the mods were higher. She is going to do well against human enemies that are weak to dark, obviously. In addition to debuffing and dealing damage, she can perfect the spell, apply a 4-stack Mirage to the party, and 6-stack Mirage for herself. Boost dark damage for the party, 25% for both magic and physical. Do increased damage to the break gauge when using daggers, and also decreases physical accuracy by 50%. I'm not sure how that's going to be useful though. I haven't tried a strategy that decreases physical accuracy by a number. So can't wait to pull her. So for players who are looking for a debuffer that can do damage and provide a bit of utility, I recommend you pull for Vinera. Her banner is quite good. She is on a discounted banner, so 4,500 lapis per pull. You can guarantee a copy of her with 36,000 lapis as opposed to the 40,000 that you need on standard banner. He also has some free pulls on the banner, and there's also a paid banner for $12, I think. All right, so with regards to dark visions, if you're looking to pull for units only for dark visions, her 90% defense debuff could come into play, even in a win team with Envy Faris and Envy Warrior of Light parts. So I'm just not sure if she is worth a slot, but if you have no better units, why not bring Vinera for her 90% defense debuff? Do note that her BS LB can be imbued with a different element, so Barts can imbue her with wind, so since it is physical. So overall, she's a great unit, which I'm going to try to pull for. I just have to find a way to get some lapis since I used most of it chasing Envy Faris. So I think I still have more lapis to farm in the story. And Fountain of Lapis is available as a bundle. I should be able to guarantee her. But first, I'm gonna use some tickets to try to pull her using some tickets. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. Sorry about the sample build. I wasn't able to do that. Maybe I'll just do it on a separate video, alright? So hopefully this was helpful and informative and helped you decide on whether or not to pull for Vinera. I myself am pulling for her. I think she's a great unit. She brings a lot of things that are unique. Also, the 90% defense debuff is tempting. Alright guys, my name is Azure and I make FFBE and gaming content every day. If you're interested in that, please consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much for the support. Please like, share the video, and comment on the comment section. Let me know what you think. Thanks again guys for the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.